Good morning, sugar. You playing? Hey. Did you have a nice sleep? How's that new tooth coming along? Laney's cutting a tooth. Yes, you are. Coming at you fresh-faced this morning. We're just enjoying our typical morning. I'm finishing off my first cup of coffee. Probably gonna make a second. The kids have been extra good in the mornings the past couple of days and sleeping until like 8. That's really nice. Really appreciating that from them. Does anybody else wash their hair at night and then go to bed with their hair wet and it's still wet in the morning? I don't even have like super thick hair. It's very fine, but it's very dense, so I guess that's why. But yeah, washed it at what, 9 o'clock last night, and it's 9:30 in the morning and it's still wet. It's over 12 hours and it's still wet. I'm gonna have to go and blow dry it here in a little bit and do something with this. Well, good morning, brother bear. You don't want me to film you this morning? Oh, hey, do you have chocolate on your face? You're eating chocolate for breakfast?
Yeah.
What have you been having for breakfast? A chocolate what? A chocolate Pop-Tart? That's right, people. I am Mother of the Year and gave my son a chocolate Pop-Tart. It was easy and I didn't feel like making breakfast this morning. I'm sure a lot of you know the drill. Hello, little sister. Are you playing with your toys?
Thank you, Mark Jacobs. You have made my lip gloss dreams come true. I will try.
So I'm looking a little bit more presentable now. I've got myself together somewhat today, but I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping for dinner. We're having a pot roast tonight. Reheating my coffee. Other moms, I'm sure you reheat your coffee at least 5 times before you finish a cup in the morning. But I am prepping our dinner for tonight. We're having pot roast and I'm cooking it in the crock pot, so that's why I have to prep it so early. So I'm getting ready to slice and dice everything and stick that in the crock pot so it can cook for the next 8 hours. And while I'm doing that, Laney's having a little bit of a breakfast. We've got some strawberries and some banana, and she's kind of mostly just playing with it. She's getting so much better with the little pincher grasp, but it's hard for her to do that with bananas. I mean, it's hard for me to do that too with bananas because they're so slimy. And she's kind of funny with strawberry. Let's see if I can show you guys. Is it a little sour? Oh, you took it pretty good today. The first time I gave her strawberries, she wasn't sure what to do with it. I think because strawberries, I mean, the only really fruit she ever had was stuff that was pretty bland, like applesauce, banana, pears, stuff like that. And I tried steaming a pear for her the other day because she does not like pureed food at all. She likes real food, and I tried to steam her a pear the other day and she did not like it. I tasted it and I didn't like it either. I didn't really care for pears, and I don't think she really does either. But the first time I gave her strawberries, she didn't really like it. I think just because the taste was so much stronger than what she was used to. But she took it okay today, but for the most part, she has gotten pretty good at feeding herself. But when it comes to fruits and stuff like this, they're really soft and really slimy and mushy, and it's really hard for her to pick them up with her hands, which it's hard for me too. Like, I try to pick up these little bits of banana after they've been sitting here for a while, and they just slip and slide right out of my hand. So I might need to just sit down and feed this to her real quick before I finish prepping my dinner. So she just wasn't feeling her breakfast this morning. I don't think she's very hungry. She polished off a bottle not that long ago. But look at your cute little outfit, Lanes. You're so beautiful. This whole outfit, by the way, is from Target. The onesie and the shorts are by the brand Cat and Jack. And then the hair bow, it's just one of the little Target brands that they have. It's all in the bow section. I think all the bows are kind of the same brand. Actually, the bow might be Carter's now that I think about it. I think it might be Carter's at Target. And she likes her rings. She just like takes them off and throws them everywhere, don't you, baby girl? Rings everywhere, toys everywhere. Those are Cason's toys over there, his little stuffed animals. Laney! You wanna do some tummy time? So she's gonna play on the floor and get some exercise in while I go ahead and now start getting dinner together. I mean, every time I try to start something, I have to stop. So it takes me like an hour to finish one task. I'm sure a lot of you totally get it. Hey man, did you go upstairs and see Dad? Kevin's been working from home a lot lately. You gotta stop the train? What movie is that from?
Polar Express.
Polar Express?
Yeah.
You're really gonna like Christmas this year, hun. You're gonna love Christmas this year. Yes, you are. See you later. So the first thing I do is I preheat my crock pot on high. I like to cook my pot roast on high for 2 hours, and then I bump it down to low to cook for the rest of the day. And the first thing that I do is I chop up half of a medium-sized onion. I save the rest for the rest of the week, but this is my base, so this is what I put in first. Next up is the celery. I take 4 stalks of celery and I dice them up and throw them on top of the onions. And then it's time for a big old heaping of baby carrots. And once the veggies are all in there, I do 4 garlic cloves, which is 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. And I'm also going to crush up a beef bouillon cube. I like to put 1 beef bouillon cube crushed up on top of the veggies and underneath the pot roast because I just like to get some extra marinade in it. And I also put 1 bouillon cube crushed on top, rubbed into the beef itself. Okay, all the veggies, the garlic, bouillon cubes in the crock pot. So next I am going to take cream of mushroom. I get the 98% fat free just to cut out on fat. And I am going to dump that in a little saucepan. And then once that's all out of the can, I am going to take my beef stock and I am going to fill the can with beef stock. This also helps to get the rest of the cream of mushroom out. And I'm gonna dump that into the saucepan. And then I mix all of that together and I bring it to a boil. So I'm gonna season both sides, but I wanted to share with you what I season with. I've got some sea salt, some black pepper, garlic powder, and then this is new. It's Adam's Reserve. It's a white wine and garlic butter seasoning. We've had it on a few things and it's really good. So I put that on top and I'm just going to rub it into the meat. Rub it in. And this is a boneless chuck roast, if anybody was wondering. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Okay, and then I'm just gonna flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Now I'm searing the beef. I'll sear each side. It's on medium to medium-high heat. I usually sear it for like 3 to 4 minutes on each side, and then I'm gonna pop it into the crock pot and pour our cream of mushroom and beef stock mixture on top. Okay guys, the beef is seared. It seriously smells so good. I already put a bouillon cube too on top. I crushed it up. Now it's time for the finale. Our sauce. This is seriously like my favorite dinner. Is my camera lens gonna fog up? That would be pretty funny. So I just stick the lid on. This is gonna cook for 2 hours on high, and then I'm gonna pop it down to low, and it's just gonna cook for the rest of the day, and we'll probably eat about 6:30. So I'm really excited to eat this dinner tonight. It's like one of my favorite dinners that I make. I love pot roast. I also make homemade mashed potatoes to go with it, and I make a homemade gravy from the juices in the crock pot after it's been cooking all day. So I'll take like a tablespoon of butter and a tablespoon of flour, and I will make a mixture with that, and then I'll slowly pour in a cup of the broth mixture that's been cooking all day, and I make a homemade beef gravy to go with the mashed potatoes, and it's so freaking delicious. The gravy is so good that I could literally eat it by itself with a spoon as a soup. It's so good. So we haven't had this dinner in a long time, and I'm so excited to eat it tonight. What are you doing, Batman? Hey, Batman, do you want to eat some lunch? Help you? Help you with what, son? Do you want to eat some lunch? I'm gonna eat some lunch. Do you want to eat too?
I don't want it.
You don't want to eat right now? All right. Okay, so I want to give you guys a little bit of an update on the IUD, and it's not a positive one. While the great thing is that I have not gotten pregnant off of it, I constantly have a period, and I'm going to call my doctor. I was looking to see when exactly I got the IUD. Let me go back to my IUD video. Okay, so my IUD video was posted on April 25th, and I believe I put the video up the day, or I filmed it the day that I got the IUD. So April 25th. It is now April, May, June, 2 months later, and I have had, let me count for for you how many periods that I've had because it's been a lot. I'm gonna have to talk to my doctor about it because it can't be normal. Okay, so I was on my period whenever I got the IUD, and it was the last day of my period that I got the IUD, and then I bled for 7 more days after that. So that's 12 days of being on a period, which was awful. Then come May, I started bleeding again on the 25th of April. I had it for 7 days. So that means that I stopped the 2nd of May. So I was off for a couple of days, and then I started period again. I started bleeding on May 7th, and I bled until May 14th. Didn't have a period for a couple of weeks. I started bleeding again on May 31st, and I did not stop bleeding until June 11th. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days again of being on my period. I have been off my period for not even 2 weeks, and I just started again today. So I stopped bleeding on the 11th of June, and today's the 26th, and then I started my period again. Is that normal? It's been 2 months, and I have bled for almost all of it. Like, is that normal? Like, that can't be normal. It's so frustrating to me because I would almost rather just have stayed in my birth control. Like, I don't know what to do. Birth control methods do not work for me. I'm pretty much convinced that Kevin's probably gonna have to get a vasectomy because I cannot continue to do this to my body. Like, this cannot be normal. To have this many periods and bleed this much, I'm gonna have to call my doctor and see. So far I really do not like the IUD. I don't like it at all because I can't stop bleeding. I bleed constantly, and my cramps are horrible too. When I don't have any cramps right now. I didn't even know that I was getting ready to bleed until I went to the bathroom, and then there's blood everywhere. So I don't know, y'all, but it really freaking sucks. I'm gonna have to call my doctor and see what she says. So I heard back from my doctor's office, and they said, well, I didn't speak with my doctor, I spoke with her medical assistant, and she said that while some people experience much heavier bleeding and stuff like that with the IUD, the amount of bleeding that I have shouldn't really be considered as a normal side effect because I am bleeding very frequently and very heavily, and she said eventually that could cause a lot of problems. My body might not be able to keep up with that much blood loss. So they scheduled me an appointment to go in. They're gonna do an ultrasound of my uterus to check out the implant and all of that, and probably run some blood work to see what's going on. Just feel like it's one thing after another. Like, what is going on with my body? Like, the pregnancy with Laney was not good, and now I'm having issues with this IUD, but I'm trying. Of course, the first thing that my mind goes to is like the worst possible thing, like, oh my gosh, do I have cancer? Like, what's going on? But I have to remember that I was on the pill for a while after my pregnancy, and I didn't have any issues other than like, no issues with like bleeding and crazy periods or anything like that. My periods were a typical 4 or 5 day period, and I got by with regular and super tampons. But now that I'm not on the pill and don't have any sort of birth control hormone, which that could be another reason, but I'm bleeding like for 14 days at a time, you know, running through Super Plus tampons like it's no big deal, and I'm just not used to that. So they're gonna check me out. Who knows? I mean, it could just be that my uterus is very sensitive and it can't deal with having an implant in there, you know? So of course I can't get into my doctor this week. They can't get me in until July 10th, which is like 2 weeks from now. Kevin is not happy. He wants me to call and try to get in to see somebody else so that I can get in sooner, because he just is not a fan of my doctor's office, understandably, because of how they handled my last pregnancy. And now I'm having another sort of complication, and they're just brushing it off and waiting for 2 weeks to get me in. The problem with my doctor's office is that there's way too many patients. And I mean, there's a lot of doctors there, but it's like a freaking factory. It's just one person after the other after the other. And I know that I really need to get a new gynecologist or a new OBGYN. I know I really need to. I need to go to a smaller practice somewhere where the doctors have enough time to see you, and that when you're having an issue like the issue that I'm having and it's making us nervous, understandably, I think with the sort of pregnancy that I had, that I can't get in any sooner. So I don't know, but I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully it's just something as minor as just me not being able to have an IUD of any sort. So hopefully it's nothing more serious than that. My mom brought up a good point. She was like, well, when's the last time that you had a pap smear? And I'm pretty sure they did one at my 6-week postpartum checkup. I'm pretty sure that they did. I get pap smears every year and they always come back normal. I've never had one come back abnormal, so that's good. But I don't know. Keep your fingers crossed for me. I'm nervous, but I'm hoping it's just something as simple as me not being able to take the IUD. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with the doctor. Mama's little buggies. Mama's casing boy. What you eating? Nana. What are we watching on TV?
Katie Mim.
Kate and Mim Mim. Oh, come on, big girl. Come on. I know you can do it. Come on, bugaroos. Come on, big girl. Make sure you guys are following me on Snapchat. Yeah, because I post a lot of the kids during the week on there, and I'm pretty sure the first time Laney crawls, you're gonna see it first on Snapchat. So be sure you're following me there. Whoa! Whoa! You're such a big girl now. Ugh, he's a banana boy. She really likes to stand. She didn't pull up there by herself. She can't reach from there when she's sitting, and she still hasn't pulled up on anything besides my hands yet, but she really likes to stand.
These are close. These are close.
Okay, so I am boiling the potatoes now. The hub's texting. Boiling the potatoes now so that I can make mashed potatoes. And I just finished the gravy and it tastes so heavenly. Dinner is served. It's gonna be so, excuse Kason, it's gonna be so good. So that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.